What's going on, Black people? How are you? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I also want to say welcome to the Black Financial Channel, where we discover and talk about daily financial news from a Black perspective. Please do me a favor as you come into chat. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. I'd like to see who's in here also. Let me know what city you're coming from. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send a shout out to everybody on our text list who is receiving messages whenever we go live. If you'd like to get a text message from me when we go live, text the word Boyce, B-O-Y-C-E, to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. So shout out your cities. I see Dallas, New Orleans, Columbia, Dallas. Did the Cowboys lose again? I'll tell you what, man. My Cowboys have got whacked these days. New Orleans, I think the Saints lost too, actually. Carter from NYC. Which New York actually has 2 or 3 really bad football teams, except for the Buffalo Bills. I know, see, y'all know I keep up with my football, right? I actually watch football on YouTube because YouTube does like these little summaries of the games that allow you to watch the whole game in like less than 10 or 12 minutes. So that's how I keep up with my football. So that's how I know that my Louisville Cardinals lost, my Kentucky Wildcats lost. See, I keep up with all of it. But anyway, but this is neither here nor there. Shout out your city, Kansas City, Orlando, Birmingham. Go Bears. The Bears suck too. See, I know about all the teams, good and bad. Anyway, guys, one of the other things I want you guys to do, if you haven't done this yet, subscribe to the Black Financial Channel, theblackfinancialchannel.com, because one of the things I realized that we needed, you guys know my PhDs in finance. I taught college students finance for 25 years. So I know all the secrets. I know all the secrets that rich people are not telling you. I know all the things that white folks have kept from you. I know all of that because I taught those people who went on to go to Wall Street and make millions and billions of dollars. And one of the things I can tell you is that people who tend to understand wealth are people who consume daily news and information about wealth on a regular perspective. People who have money are people who understand money. People who understand money tend to be people who think about money. And so we think about money, but we think about money on the wrong side of the equation. We think about it from the I need money because I got to pay my bills perspective, as opposed to the other perspective that I want you to think about is I want to have money. So, so I'm going to prepare to get money. I'm going to make a plan to obtain money, right? So it's like the difference between, like, I'll give you an example. Me and my beautiful fiance, Alicia, y'all know Dr. Alicia, our wedding is on 7/11/2020. Everybody's invited. Southside Chicago. The church is gigantic, so all y'all can fit. Just RSVP so we know you come in, and no crazy people allowed. But anyway, me and Alicia both think about food a lot. We both think about food every day. Right now, here's the thing. She knows how to cook and I don't. She knows how to, she can take, an onion and a piece of paper and make like, the most gourmet meal ever. Whereas I can't even boil water. If you boil the water for me, if you heat it up halfway, I can't even heat up the other half because I'm that bad of a cook. But we both think about food. Now, why is this analogy applicable? What I'm saying is that when I think about food, my only thought about food is I'm hungry. Where's the food at? Right. And I go upstairs and usually there's something amazing that she's cooked that day and I get to eat that. Right. She thinks about food every day, too, but she's thinking about food not when it's dinner time. She thinks about food in the morning because she'll be thinking, oh, I was thinking about what we're going to cook today. I'm thinking about what I want to cook for dinner tonight. Or Boyce, what do you want to eat tonight? Right. And so that is a perfect example to help you understand the difference between a wealth builder and somebody who just wants money. Most people want money. If you want money, raise your hand. Say in the chat, say, I want money. If I was giving away $1 million checks right now, how many of y'all would say, I want one, I want one? So tell me right now, if you are a person who wants money, thinks about money, needs money, is trying to get more money, raise your hand. Just say something in the chat. Just say yes, say I want money, whatever it is. Put a dollar sign in the chat, whatever you want to do, right? Well, here's the thing. Everybody wants money, but it's the smart people that learn how to get money. You see, I want food. Every day I want food. But I'm the stupid one in our relationship because Alicia is the one who will never go hungry because Alicia knows how to cook. Alicia cooks food. She learned how to cook it and she makes a plan to cook it. So, I get to eat because that black woman makes sure that I eat every day. If she decided that she wanted to starve me out, I'll be back to eating, ho-hos and Papa John's pizza or fried chicken and Popeyes or whatever it is, right? I'd be clunked over dead because I would have to eat whatever some restaurant served me where she could cook whatever the hell she wants. So a person who knows how to cook up a financial plan, who understands what it means to cook up a financial plan, who makes a plan, a strategy to cook up a financial plan, who is proactive as opposed to reactive, is going to have money. They're going to get paid. The people who only know how to react to a lack of money, the people who only know how to be sad because there's not enough money in the house, the people who only know how to go out and beg for money because they don't have enough, are the ones who will always be a day late and not $1 short, but $100,000 short. You feel me? Do you follow me? Tell me, give me a yes or no in the chat. Let me know that you understand what I'm saying, because sometimes I talk over people's heads, and that's not my goal. My goal is to talk to you in a way where you're actually going to get what I'm saying, as opposed to talking to you in a way where you're going to be left confused. Okay, so be proactive. Be proactive. See, the problem that you have as black people is that you're not trained to be proactive. You're only trained to be reactive. You're trained to react to what somebody else did to you, as opposed to being proactive about what you want to do for yourself. Those who don't plant a seed get no harvest. Those who don't know how to cook they either don't eat, or they eat whatever somebody else cooked for them. You feel me? By Alicia knowing how to cook, she gets to eat whatever she wants. I only get to eat what somebody else cooked for me, because I'm too stupid to have taken the time to learn how to cook, or to actually sit around and plan what I'm going to eat later on in the day. So same thing is true with wealth. If you want to eat, learn how to cook. Those who learn how to cook eat good. Teach your kids how to cook so they can know how to eat. And that's where getting your children ready early is very, very important, and getting yourself ready as well. So anyway, I had to go into that little soliloquy before I talk about this Byron Allen story. But y'all know I don't just talk about what people are doing. I talk about what you're doing. Right. So I don't, I don't care about your politics and all that. I care about you. I care about your future. I care about your family, and I care about your legacy. So I want to make sure y'all walk away from here saying, I listen to that guy every day because he makes my life better. Now, I don't want you to listen to me just because you think I'm cute, even though I'm sure I'm damn handsome today in my white tie. Right. So anyway, all right, guys. Let's get it cracking. Hit the thumbs up button if you're on the Black Financial Channel. So everybody subscribe, theblackfinancialchannel.com. Please hit that thumbs up button. On Dr. Boyce TV, please hit the thumbs up button as well. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. And I'm gonna give you guys some quick information updates on the Byron Allen case. Byron Allen's lawsuit. Many of you know about this. Byron Allen is suing Comcast for $20 billion in one of what I consider to be one of the most interesting and boldest legal moves in a very long time. He deserves respect for making this move. I think that's why Byron Allen has money and a lot of people don't. And I respect that. Now, here's the issue, right? Here's the interesting thing. Comcast is watching, all the stuff Byron Allen's been doing. Byron Allen has been on a full-scale blitzkrieg assault in the court of public opinion to basically make sure that everybody knows what Comcast is doing, that they are aligning with the Trump administration to undermine civil rights for the last 150 years, that they are literally, just doing some things that many people consider to be abominable. A lot of people have gained respect. A lot of people in our community have gained respect for Byron Allen, but they've lost respect for Comcast. And that's saying a lot. I mean, the fact that the community loves a guy that, because y'all know a lot of people saw his wife and they were like, hold up, wait a minute, he's one of them guys, right? Got this white wife and gonna be passing all that money to somebody else. But even beyond that, I think people are wise enough to kind of look beyond that and see, what he's doing for the community. Now, again, is everything gonna be perfect? But no, it's not. But hey, at the same time, he's making a contribution, I do believe, by filing this suit, at least pushing conversations. He's getting us to talk about things we normally don't talk about. And I think that's a wonderful thing. Now, here's the thing. Comcast sees all this happening. Comcast is, watching this, and Comcast is like, hold on, wait. We ain't gonna sit here as this big corporate giant who's gonna sit there in silence while you run out here and you, as Antonio Brown likes to say, out here putting dirt on my name. Antonio Brown's like, y'all out here putting dirt on my name, right? So Comcast is like, hold up, you putting dirt on our name, that ain't cool. So Comcast has actually come back. Comcast has actually issued a statement that I thought was really interesting in response to this whole Byron Allen thing. I'm gonna read some of this to you. Bobby Rush, to his credit, has actually come out and supported Allen in the suit. He's actually said that Comcast should be broken up, which I don't disagree with that. I think that we are allowing companies to violate antitrust law, including especially like the NCAA and stuff like that. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys saw that just this week, my Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm a fan of Ohio State. That's where I got my PhD. They have the #1 team in the country, and they lost their best player, a Heisman Trophy candidate, because he got a loan from a friend. A friend loaned him a couple dollars, and the NCAA said, hold up, wait. We the pimp. You supposed to be our bitch. Like, you ain't supposed to get money from nobody. We supposed to starve your ass out. And so basically the NCAA came back and suspended him because basically he's not supposed to even get a loan, right? So the NCAA is actually a cartel that has consistently violated antitrust policy in America. They're only allowed to do this, though, because their victims are black, mostly African American. I believe that's why they're allowed to get away with this nonsense. I don't think they'd be allowed to get away with this if they were doing this to hockey players or tennis players, but that's just my 2 cents. So anyway, with that said, you know, there's an argument to be made that Comcast should be broken up. The congressmen are getting involved. Martin Luther King's daughter rushed to support Byron Allen's suit. Who else? The NAACP came out to support. So he's getting support in the court of public opinion. I think he's won that fight. But here's what's interesting. 2 things. One, you know, the courts don't really care a whole lot what the public is saying. You know, one of the things about the courts is they pride themselves in being able to ignore the public and ignore, you know, political peer pressure, if you want to call it that. And so basically, you know, it won't matter when they go before the Supreme Court, which I argue is a very conservative court. I got to go double check that, but yeah, they're quite conservative. I don't think they're going to give Byron Allen the win that he's looking for. I think that Byron Allen is probably pushing in the public eye because he's concerned about what's going to happen when he gets into the court of law, which is why, you know, with one of our core arguments, one of our core arguments in the Black Business School is that we have to find other ways to expand and diversify our interests and our pursuits so that we're not dependent upon a bunch of racist white folks to give us what we deserve or to give us opportunities. I think we need to learn how to manufacture our own opportunities. We also need to reconnect to the diaspora because there are more sympathetic nation states all throughout the world that would be very happy to do business with Black people. Right. That's why I'm going to Ghana on December 6th with another billionaire by the name of Michael Roberts. And we're going to go out there and we're going to explore Ghana. We're going to find out what's over there, what's happening there. And I'm going to actually look into dual citizenship and everything because I actually want to go back to my roots because I feel like an adopted child who really needs to find his real parents. You know, I feel like an adopted child who's living in a household where every time I go ask my parents to give me some food, they tell me that there's not enough food, but yet the white kids get to eat and I don't get to eat. Right. I feel like an adopted child who has been mistreated and abused by the people that he thought were his parents. But wait a minute, I'm like, hold on, wait, you mean I got a real mom and a real daddy called Ghana, called Zimbabwe, maybe Ethiopia or wherever, where I can go over there and actually connect there and do business. And they've got trillions of dollars in resources. Africa is the richest continent on the planet. That's why everybody goes to Africa. They've been going there for 600, 700 years to looking for resources because Africa is the richest continent on the planet. So I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me that my real daddy, my real mama is the richest continent on the planet? I want to wire back into that. They're calling me to come home. Well, shit, let me go educate myself on who I really am and what I'm really connected to so that I can actually find real opportunities that don't depend on me having to go to a conservative Supreme Court run by people like Donald Trump to find justice, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't go to court. I'm not saying that the suit is wrong. I'm not saying that at all. I think it's a great suit. I'm saying that, you know, it's very depressing to believe that that's all you got, that white folks is all you got, that the Supreme Court is all you got. Seriously, there's got to be a better way. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that. Please hit that thumbs up button. Also, by the way, some of you asked earlier, we have a Black Business School for children. If you want your children ahead of the curve, and I know how to put them ahead of the curve because I've taught college students for 25 years and I know my stuff very well. We have a business school for children where your child can get a degree out of the Black Business School, which will boost their self-esteem, boost their interest in wealth. You can go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Now, Vanita, you said Dr. Boyce is talking very fast. It might be the coffee. It could be. Who knows? Plus, I got ADHD. I need to probably be on some Ritalin or something. But I personally believe that that's how I tap into my genius because my thoughts do go a mile a minute. But also at the same time, my time is limited today. So that's probably another reason why I'm trying to get it all out. But by the way, Vanita, I appreciate you very much for coming in to the chat. And I will try to slow down. Now, Vanita got me all self-conscious and shit. Now I'm going to be talking extra slow on purpose. All right. So anyway, let me read this here. Let me read some of what Comcast said in the lawsuit. Very interesting. In a letter to Comcast CEO Brian Roberts, Bobby Rush excoriates the company for challenging a Supreme Court decision, reinstating a suit against Comcast for allegedly discriminating in its non-carriage of networks. That comes as the Supreme Court prepares to hear Comcast's appeal of a 2015 discrimination suit brought by Entertainment Studios chief Byron Allen that alleged Comcast conspired to keep African-American owned networks off its cable systems, right? Keep that in your mind. Keep that thought in your head, right? That he's arguing that Comcast conspired to keep African-American owned networks off of their platform, right? Write that down. Somebody put that in your head because I want you, this is going to come up in a second. It's very important. Allen and the National Association of African-American owned media brought the suit in 2015, claiming damages of $20 billion. A federal court dismissed the suit, but the decision was reversed by the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit a year ago. Comcast wants the Supreme Court to reverse this circuit court decision, disputing Allen's claim of a vast conspiracy to keep his networks off. Rush called Comcast cold, callous, arrogant, and insensitive, and said that the fact that the Trump Justice Department supports supports it in court is just more evidence that it is trying to undermine rights of minority communities. Quote, "It is evident to me," Rush wrote Roberts, "that with the demonstration of corporate greed, Comcast has forfeited and repudiated its claim to be an inclusive company that is a friend to the Black community." All right, fine, excellent point. I agree. Now, what Byron Allen did that I thought was brilliant is he links Comcast to the Trump administration, right? That's like putting poison in your coffee, man. Like that's literally like peeing in your Kool-Aid. Seriously, like literally, it's like, and then think about this. You can have a gallon of Kool-Aid. You put one drop of urine in that Kool-Aid. Ain't nobody gonna drink that Kool-Aid, right? Ain't nobody gonna drink the Kool-Aid, right? So he put a little microscopic drop of urine in the Kool-Aid, and now everybody's like, "Whoa, I'm not drinking Comcast Kool-Aid because it's got pee in it." Right? You won't even taste it. You can drink it. Nobody told you it was there. You drink it and probably enjoy it. But because they told you, because you know it's there, you're not going to drink it. That's what he did that I thought was great in his interviews. I listened to his interviews very carefully. I did an analysis in the Black Business School for our students. You guys should join. Make sure you join theblackbusinessschool.com so I can invite you to our Black Wealth conversations, because that's what we do. They're like fireside chats for Black people interested in building wealth for their families. So they're really good, and they're free to the students who are in the Black Business School. So you can get a free membership at theblackbusinessschool.com. Bring your family, bring your wife, bring your kids, bring your baby mama, whoever you want to bring. And I guarantee you, when you walk away, you're going to learn a lot, because we break down things. We don't just watch, we actually analyze. So I analyze his interviews. I analyze his word choice. I look for patterns in the different interviews he did in different platforms to see the common trend, because a billionaire like him, or a multi-million, he's worth 400 million. He's going to be a billionaire because he's very smart. A guy like him doesn't run around doing 1,000 interviews because he's chasing clout. Byron Allen is not interviewing because he wants to be famous. He's not running around being on the Breakfast Club and Fortune and Forbes and the Griot and all these other places and doing conferences and everything because he wants people to give him attention. He has a strategy. And I was like, what is the strategy? What's the game plan here, Byron? What are we trying to accomplish? So I'm looking for patterns in his word choice, logical sequences of his arguments and the way he's going from one topic to the next, how he's telling his stories and what the conclusion of the story is. Like Les Brown always said, you never tell a story without a point. You never have a point without a story. So he tells his story and then he makes this point, right? So if you notice in the Breakfast Club interview, he starts off talking about the civil rights movement in the 1960s. You know, tanks coming down my street, my grandmama screaming because Dr. King got killed. And then it leads to this civil rights discussion, which kind of takes over the whole conversation. It's like, oh, by the way, Comcast is trying to take your civil rights, right? You follow me? So ultimately, with this, you know, what he's done effectively is he's linked the Trump administration to Comcast, which has then brought into the battle a lot of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus and others who've been given a license by the white Democrats to talk about Trump. They can talk bad about Trump on behalf of Black people. They just can't speak on behalf of Black people if it's not something that the white liberals have agreed to allow them to discuss, right? So ultimately, he's instituted their power in helping him with this fight. Now, let's keep going. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button and hit that notification bell while I tell my team real quick that I'm going to be a little bit, I need a couple minutes to finish talking to you guys. So I'm going to tell them I'm going to be a little bit late to my meeting. See, Byron Allen ain't the only one that got meetings. I got meetings every day with my team. If you ever want to be successful in life, get you a team around you of strong, smart people that can help you be successful. So I'm nothing without my team. Anybody out here thinking that it's all about them and you can do it all by yourself, those people are the ones who are losing. So don't be a loser. Learn how to delegate, learn how to work together, learn how to be collegial, learn how to have a squad around you, because my squad is the baddest squad ever. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button while I send this quick little note to them. And also, if you want to get on our text list, you can do that right now if you want. You can text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. All right. Okay. Sent the note. I need an extra 15 minutes. All right. So let's keep going. Let's keep analyzing this and breaking down the Byron Allen thing. All right. So let's get to Comcast and their response. Comcast has long argued that there were solid business reasons for not carrying the networks that had nothing to do with race. Now, of course, this is what, this is mighty white of them. This is kind of what, white companies will do, is they always, you guys know this, right? You go to you go to a lawyer because you know that your company that hasn't hired a black person in your department since Jesus was a teenager. You go to a lawyer and you try to file a discrimination lawsuit, and the first thing they do is they go through your record in extreme detail to basically say, it's not us, it's you, right? Like the ultimate goal, unfortunately, in America, and why these civil rights suits are always hard to win, even if whether Comcast wins or not, it's always going to be hard to file a civil rights suit because America is a racist country. It's very difficult to get civil rights in a racist society. That's just get that. Let's just please, all of us, can we all please, like right now, just get that through our thick heads, because we somehow think that the same people who took justice away are going to bring justice back. Right? They're not going to do that. There's a reason why they didn't want you to have justice in the first place. And so to think they're going to contradict that by giving you justice later is a little bit of a problematic line of reasoning. So anyway, Comcast comes back and they're like, no, it's not us, it's you. And let us explain why. So here's what Comcast said. And this is interesting, right? I want you guys to hear this. They said, quote, there's no major media company in America that has done more to promote diverse programming than Comcast. Now, they don't provide any statistical proof of this. There's no, like, I need receipts. Like, okay, if you're number one, tell me why you're number one. All right. So they said, we've gone above and beyond the memorandum of understanding, which I think was an agreement they made with a couple of civil rights organizations. I got to research this, about what kind of diversity they would include in their merger. Remember, Comcast was merging with NBC Universal, and they went out of their way to try to prove that they would be diverse so that nobody would stand in the way of their merger. So they would include people like, the NAACP, National Urban League, people like Al Sharpton, Mark Morial, and others to get them to co-sign on what they're doing. I think that's a problem. I really think that's a problem. I don't think, and I agree with those who argue that Al Sharpton's job, the job he got on MSNBC, could have been connected to his agreement with this big merger, which was worth billions and billions of dollars. In fact, I would go as far as arguing, in my opinion, that if Sharpton had not co-signed on the merger, he wouldn't have got that job. Because y'all know, give me a yes or no. Has anybody ever seen? Give me a yes or no if you've seen Al Sharpton on MSNBC. Has anybody seen Al Sharpton on MSNBC? Has anybody ever seen him? Give me a yes or no. Okay, I see some yeses. I see some no's in here. All right. Let me ask you this. Yes or no? Do you think Al Sharpton is the best guy they could have found for that job? Do you think do you think that there's no journalist, no commentator, nobody more qualified for that job? Like, you really think he went through an exhaustive interview process against 100 other highly qualified candidates who went to top journalism schools in the planet, and he just won out because he's just damn good? He enunciates his words extremely well. He's dedicated his life to being an excellent journalist and commentator. Do you think that's what happened, or do you think that there might have been some inside operation there? I'm not going to say that it was connected to this merger. I'm just asking you, do you think that there might have been some old boy network at work in this situation? I don't know. I was kind of around Sharpton a little bit more at that time when he got that job at MSNBC. And I can tell you this, I know one day when I went to the National Action Network convention, which was a very nice convention, by the way, it's down at that Sheraton in Midtown Manhattan, beautiful hotel. And so we're sitting there, and he's like, oh, I want you to meet the president of MSNBC. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go meet this guy, and I'm sitting there thinking, why is he going out of his way? Remember, Al Sharpton is one of the smartest people I've ever met. He's one of the most connected people I've ever seen. And so he just, for some reason, he mentioned 2 or 3 times he wanted me to meet the president of MSNBC. I did not know why. And now I understand things a little bit better. I believe it was a test. I believe it was a test to see, is this guy going to play ball? Like, I really look back at that and I kind of wonder, was this a test to see if I was going to be the next Melissa Harris Perry? Because shortly thereafter, Melissa Harris Perry also got that job at MSNBC right when Obama was going into office. A lot of people, a lot of, elite black people, which I was kind of in that space. I've navigated in all the different worlds, right? So in that elite, I've been on the inside, I've been on the outside. In the inside, a lot of elite black people supported the Obama presidency because they got elevated as a result of this. Melissa Harris Perry got a job at MSNBC. Sharpton got his job at MSNBC. Who else? Roland Martin rose up through the ranks at CNN. I believe CNN connected with Roland because he was in Chicago and he knew the Obamas personally because he was working with WVON, which is an excellent radio station on the south side of Chicago. So effectively what you saw was a civil war that took place because you had the elite black people who are like, hey, this Obama thing is good. This is really working out for us. And then you had the people on the outside who were frozen out. Who was in the in crowd? Sharpton, Melissa Harris Perry, Michael Eric Dyson, etc. Who was on the outside? Jesse Jackson, because he wasn't supportive of Obama as much as Obama wanted. He supported him, but he didn't. I guess he wasn't playing ball the way Obama wanted. Who else? What was another one? Cornel West. Because remember, Cornel West was actually speaking up for black folks. And you had a few others, Dr. Claude Anderson and others, that they just pretty much act like these people didn't exist. Tavis Smiley, thank you. That's another name. So my point is not to I'm not even saying this in a critical way. What I'm saying is I want y'all to understand the game, right? That's it. We deconstruct, we analyze here on the Black Financial Channel. And that's the goal. The goal is not for me to get you to go out and say, oh, Al Sharpton ain't shit. You might still like him. It's okay. You might dislike him. I don't really care. All I care about is that you like yourself well enough to understand what's going on so you can position yourself for success. So let's keep going. All right, so hit the thumbs up button. So I'm gonna read a little bit more of this article. So here's what Comcast said. Comcast says, there's no major media company in America that has done more to promote diverse programming than Comcast. We've gone above and beyond the memorandum of understanding, which everybody was not invited to sign that memorandum. I don't remember hearing anything about this. So what they do is they kind of go to the Negro managers or the black representatives and they say, hey, we want to do this thing. We need y'all to co-sign because you guys are the influencers that can get the rest of the community to buy into this, right? So let's see here. While Byron Allen chose not to participate in the MOU process that brought 4 African-American owned networks onto our cable lineups. So Byron Allen didn't like the deal. And I'd love to hear what Byron Allen has to say about that. He alluded to that a little bit in the Breakfast Club interview. I think he said something like they treat us like monkeys and they offered us bananas or something, right? Now, I personally like bananas. I had bananas this morning, but I imagine but figurative bananas will probably be a little bit more offensive, right? So the bananas that were offered were probably like, hey, we'll give you, $50 in a bucket of chicken if you go ahead and sign off on this. And I think that what Byron Allen's really saying, I think Byron Allen's making a good point, is that sometimes our low self-esteem causes us not to think big enough in these deals, right? Sometimes the fact that we're used to being shut out leads us to be willing to sacrifice anything to be included. Sometimes that civil rights, that old school civil rights mindset, which is not incredibly unproductive for black people, but it was a problem because think about this. You're talking about a group of people who were willing to have their asses beat just so they could go sit at a white man's lunch counter. That is a mental illness. When you are willing to go in there and risk death so that you can go and give your money to somebody else, somebody needs to get you off the crazy train, right? It doesn't mean that everybody then was stupid or everybody then was crazy or that they were evil or disruptive. It just means that they needed an intervention. Because the thing is that sometimes coonery and that sort of backward mindset is something that was injected and implanted in us during slavery. And sometimes we might think it makes sense when really when you step out of yourself, you look back and you say, wait, that doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know if you guys agree. I don't know. Would any of you, yes or no? Yes or no? Would you risk your life, risk death? Would you let somebody hit you upside the head with a baseball bat, spray you down with fire hoses, put a gun to your children's head? Also, you can have an opportunity to go across town to Rodeo Drive and go shop at Saks Fifth Avenue or at the Gucci store. Like, would you do this? Now, right? I see a lot of no's. I'm hoping I see no's, man. I mean, if you say yes, you need to call. I'm gonna give you my number. I need you to call me so we can do some therapy sessions because the reality is that even though black people are wonderful and amazing and intelligent, sometimes we just get misled. Sometimes we think that right is wrong and wrong is right and left is right and right is left. But then sometimes you have to course correct. Martin Luther King, before he died, Byron Allen mentioned this in the interview, he course corrected. But Martin Luther King was all like about this social integration stuff for a long time. He's like, social integration, and then he's like, wait, hold on. Damn it. This is about the money. They trying to protect the money. The power is in the money. The economics is the key. That's where the power is at. And so one of the blessings, the biggest blessing I've had in my life is that I have had a chance to live, so far right now to this point, I have had a chance to live at least 10 years longer than Martin Luther King. So I'm happy because I get to be one of the people that continues the work that I believe Dr. King would have done had he lived. When I met Jesse Jackson, I met him a few times, several times, many times. I know the Jackson family very well. I remember one time on the phone 8-9 years ago, and I thought this is an honorable statement. I love this was a great statement to hear from him. He said, if Martin Luther King was still here, he'd be quoting you all over the place. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea, but I'm going to go just take that for what it is and march forward and say that I believe that if Dr. King, wherever he's at, he's in heaven watching us now. I believe he approves this message when I say to you that the number one thing I can do for you as Black people, the number one thing we can do for each other, the number one thing we do for ourselves is figure out how this money thing works, figure out where the money and the power is. And the number one reason I love Byron Allen, the reason I think Byron is a godsend is because Byron is doing one basic thing for you. He's telling you to have some goddamn self-esteem and start thinking big instead of thinking small. Stop settling for a bucket of chicken and a Snickers bar when you can actually go in there and make big deals with the big boys and get big money. If you're going to go deal with these folks that have taken everything away from you, at least demand something that is worthy of the great people that you are and the extraordinary contribution that you're making to this country, right? So Byron Allen, I believe Byron, and I'd love to have him on the channel. He's welcome to come on the Black Financial Channel anytime he wants. I'd love to have him on. I don't know this brother, but I know people that know him. So if you know him and you want to have him on, tell him that Boyce invited him to come on this channel. He can email manager@boycewatkins.com. Manager@Boyce. That's my manager's email address. And don't be flooding her email. She gets too many emails already. But manager@boycewatkins.com. And I would love to have him on to understand what his logic is, because I believe that Byron Allen is just simply saying, come on, people, let's grow up, let's think big, and let's go for the big piece of chicken. Right. So with that being said, here's more of what Comcast said in response to Byron Allen's suit. Please hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com. Also, somebody said he's friends with Tone. Yeah, Tone's with the ADOS movement with Yvette Carnell. I love the ADOS. I love ADOS. I love the members of ADOS, and I am ADOS, but I'm not a part of that organization, man. Yo, you can't be out here attacking everybody, man. You got to go and build. Go focus on fighting white supremacy. Don't fight other Black people. That ain't gonna help you. All right, Nigel Walton. How you doing, Nigel? Thank you so much for your donation. I was scrolling to look for you because I want to thank you personally. Nigel says, I saw your Melanin Code documentary. I like it as much as Hidden Colors. Now, let me just say this. I did not make the Melanin Code. I was an executive producer. The brother that made the Melanin Code, oh my God, why does his name always leave my brain? I'm going to have him on my channel. The brother, he lives in Orlando, and for some reason his brain keeps going out of my head. But the Melanin Code is right up there with Hidden Colors. I'm not going to say better because it's not a competition. But the Melanin Code is small, Marcus Small, Marcus Small, Marcus Small, Marcus Small, Marcus Small. I'm saying it over and over again so I don't forget it, because Marcus Small is no small brother. Marcus Small made a documentary called The Melanin Code, which is right there with in terms of the Hidden Colors level quality. It's a damn good movie. So I encourage you guys to take a look at that. If you like Hidden Colors, you'll like the Melanin Code. And actually, we actually have it in the Black Business School as well. We made a distribution deal. As I told you guys, we like to make deals with everybody. We made a deal with Tariq. We made any Black filmmakers that have good movies that they want to distribute. Like, we're happy to work with you. And anyway, so with Boyce Watkins Films, we made a deal with the Melanin Code. And if you go to theblackbusinessschool.com, we actually have that available for our students to watch. So go to theblackbusinessschool.com, and you can watch it there, or you can look up the Melanin Code on Google, and you can go watch it in other places as well. Now I see somebody else made a donation. I can't catch everybody. I apologize, because I want to make sure we finish this discussion. So let me actually do what I promised you I'd do probably 10 minutes ago and read what Comcast said, or more of it. Okay. I promise I'm gonna stick with it. I'm not gonna go off on my little tangents. Y'all know how I am. Don't blame it on me. Blame it on the ADHD. All right. So let's see here. While Byron Allen chose not to participate in the MOU process that brought 4 African-American owned networks to our cable lineups, entrepreneurs who started the channels Aspire, Revolt, Afro, and Clio TV have all launched with our support. Our film divisions are making films like Us, Get Out, Straight Outta Compton, Harriet, Girls Trip, and Little, all with African-American directors and stars. we've dramatically increased on-air and behind-the-camera diversity across all of NBC Universal. We believe that the civil rights laws are an essential tool for protecting the rights of African Americans and other diverse communities, said the spokesperson. We have been forced to appeal the decision to defend against a meritless $20 billion claim, but have kept our argument narrowly focused. We are not seeking to roll back any civil rights laws. All we are asking is that Section 1981 in our case be interpreted the same way it has been interpreted for decades across the country. In the run-up to the suit, Comcast told the FCC to reject a petition by Allen's Entertainment Studios and the National Association of African American Owned Media. I'd like to know who started that organization. I'm wondering if Byron was a smart dude. I'm wondering if Byron created that organization so that he can say this organization is backing me. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not even going to accuse him of that. But I'd be curious to know how much of the suit they're actually funding, how much of the legal fees they're paying. Let's see, asking the agency to investigate what they call Comcast failed promise codified in a condition of the merger with NBC Universal to add majority-controlled African-American owned media networks. Thank you, Fancy, for your donation. I appreciate you very much. And thank you, Reginald, for your donation as well. By the way, if you guys make a donation to the Super Chat, I will acknowledge you. I always acknowledge Super Chat donations. Also, any Super Chat donation, if you mention your business, it's a great way to get inexpensive advertising for your company if that's something that interests you. Okay, so let's keep going. Instead, Comcast told the commission in a filing that the petition's assertions were false, unsupported, and ridiculous, and just the latest gambit in entertainment studio strategy to use litigation as a way to obtain the business goal of securing carriage of entertainment studios networks that, quote, the market has not supported. So what they're basically saying is that, Byron Allen is filing these suits. Their claim is, but then these lawsuits get messy. People make ugly claims against each other all the time. So that does not mean this is true. But they're kind of saying, look, you just filing suits, man, because you're trying to be a hater. You out on the outside, you mad because people don't want your networks. I think he's got some networks that I will never watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. His networks are like, pets.tv and cars.tv. I don't know. Any of y'all are gonna, if there's a network called pets.tv, give me a yes or no. How many of y'all plan on, watching pets.tv like every week, all the time, and have it like on constant rotation in your house, like pets.tv? Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? I ain't watching none of that. I support the brother, but those aren't networks that I would watch, right? My belief is that the reason he's created these networks, which is not a bad business strategy, by the way, is he created these networks because they're easy to sell to advertisers. If you listen to Byron's arguments during his Breakfast Club interview, he talks extensively about his basic media strategy, which was build niche-based media outlets and then go to advertisers and get them to advertise on those niche-based media outlets. So if you got pets.tv and you say we're on Comcast and we're reaching 100 million households or whatever the number is, or 200 million, 300 million, I don't know what the number is. Then an advertiser who advertises pet food is going to say, oh, well, I'll buy some ads. You're advertising doggy sneakers. You know how white people love their damn pets. Some of y'all black people in here are pet lovers too, so I'm not trying to make that a white thing, but y'all know what it is. Y'all be seeing those people kissing dogs on the mouth and like says just stuff that I don't know many black people. Yes or no? Yes or no? How many of you in here have ever kissed a dog on the mouth or ever even thought that makes sense? That's a normal thing. Like where you like, tongue kiss your dog. Anybody in here is tongue kissing a dog? Because I'm gonna just tell you the truth. Just be real with you. In this space, if somebody in this channel sees you tongue kissing your dog, they're going to probably call the cops on you, or they're not going to want their children to be around you. Because that's some old nasty shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, but anyway, but pets.tv, that's a great market, right? You got lots of people out here that love pets. They got money. They spend crazy amounts of money on their pets. They treat their pets better than black people. I mean, if you want to, you might go to jail if you shoot a black man. You'll definitely go to jail if you shoot a dog, right? We know how America operates, and that's the nature of Byron's channel. So I'm really, wondering, just based on the quality of, now somebody said I love my dog, but heck no, right? Says Todd. Okay, yeah, good. I'm glad you love your dog, right? But you ain't got to tongue kiss the dog to show you love. I'm wondering how they would feel about Byron's channels, even if it wasn't a personal thing against him. I wonder, with this lawsuit, you could make the argument, and I don't agree with this argument per se, because I actually support Byron, because I understand how the game is played. Sometimes you got to fight your way in, but I think that I would feel more comfortable with the lawsuit if it were a black network that was, really pursuing black programming, right? That's what would make me feel comfortable. Like if you had, Afro.tv or blackpeoplespeak.tv, or for example, we've got the Black Financial Channel. We're not ever going to try to get a deal with Comcast. I mean, I don't do things, I don't chase things like that. We're happy reaching people online and in other places. But the Black Financial Channel, like that would be something where we know black people would watch this and they would learn and grow and build wealth and power. Pets.tv and Cars.tv, I don't know if that achieves that same objective, but it doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to be heard. We know that white folks get away with putting all kinds of mediocre, ridiculous shit on Comcast every single day. I believe that one of the goals, if you're talking about civil rights and equality, things that I'm not really big on because I don't believe America is built for equality. I don't think equality should be your goal. I think winning should be your goal. I believe power should be your goal. But if you're talking about civil rights, inclusion, and equality, one of the things you might want to aim for is just simply for black people to have the right to be mediocre, like white people, right? It's like football coaches. You ever notice how whenever a black coach gets a chance to be the first black coach in the league, they always give him like the shittiest team in the league. Like they take the worst, most dysfunctional situation and then they put the black man in charge of it and say, haha, we fired him because he sucks as a coach. Well, really, you gave him a horrible team to begin with, right? It happens all the time, right? So in a lot of cases, I feel that sometimes that's the thing. We have to be extraordinary to get the same opportunities. We got to be twice as good to get half as much. Y'all know how it works. But the thing is, and this is where our logic kind of deviates from the norm, from the mainstream. What I've said to you guys is actually there is a place you can go where you don't have to do that. There's a place you can go where you don't have to be twice as good to get half as much. There's a place you can go where, like Tupac used to rap about Thug Mansion. Anybody heard the song Thug Mansion, where he talks about heaven being a place where black men can go and just enjoy themselves and be comfortable and be happy and bad things won't happen to them? Well, there's a place you can go where, all these rules suddenly change. The laws of racial physics suddenly adjust themselves in your favor. Well, the place you can go is called your community. The place you can go is your own family. The place you can go is your own institution. If you build your own business, black man, black woman, and then at that point, you make the rules. At that point, you decide who gets to come in and who doesn't come in. At that point, you get to decide the structure of that particular meritocracy. You get to decide how things work. Any business owners in the house, anybody in here own your own business, shout it out. Type the name of your business so everybody knows what you got going on. Let everybody know what you're doing. You got to market yourself. That's very important. Shout out the name of your business if you are a business owner. And while you guys do that, everybody else, please hit that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're on the Black Financial Channel, please subscribe. theblackfinancialchannel.com. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. We don't just talk. We don't just reach 1 million black people a week just to give them entertainment. We reach you because we want you to grow. So name your business. Now I want you to also, after you name your business, I want to ask you a simple question. In your business, who's calling the shots? You or some white man controlling your life? Who's calling the shots in your business? You or somebody else? Who decides in your business who gets a job and who doesn't? You or the white man down the street? Who gets to decide where your capital is going to be invested? You or somebody else? See, in your own house, the laws of racial physics suddenly flip on their head. See, when you come up in my house, when you come up in the house that Watkins built, we run everything up in here. Everything. Our values are the values we choose to have. Our rules are the rules that we put in place. We decide who sleeps in the master bedroom and who's got to sleep in the basement. We decide who's going to get opportunities and who's not. We decide where the resources are going to be allocated. You see, so the key for black people, when it comes to the pursuit of power, not inclusion, not integration, not these other things, the key for black people is to learn how to build something of your own so that you get to decide how things are going to go in that space. Because if you don't do that, then you're going to be falsely led to believe that the only way you can be successful as a black person is if you knock on a white man's door and he decides to let you in. And then next thing you know, you'll spend your whole life being stressed out, frustrated, mad, and protesting, marching, and fighting because they won't let you be a part of what they got going on when you could go do what the Jews did with Hollywood. Hollywood is a living, breathing manifestation of a major power play on behalf of the Jewish community. God bless them for this. Read the book. I have my students, I tell you guys this all the time. I have my students in the Black Business School read the book called How the Jews Invented Hollywood. You will probably never see a major Jewish corporation having to go to the Supreme Court to get justice in Hollywood. When a Jewish run organization wants justice in Hollywood, they ain't got to go to Supreme Court. They just go to their friends. They go to their homies that are already running the damn thing, and they say, hey, I need you to work with me on getting XYZ done in my community because we're all part of the same clique. Do you follow me? Do you follow me? So there's varying ways to get justice in this country. And unfortunately for you as Black people, you've been taught that your only pathway to justice is to get white folks to let you in, when the reality is that you have the ability to build something of your own. You have a lot of wealth, you have a lot of power, you have a lot of income, you have 1.3 trillion that is being used to make other people rich, but that 1.3 trillion can be used to make you rich and to build institutions in your own community. So the solution to all of this, when I'm reading Byron's lawsuit, and I'm cheering for Byron to win this suit, and I'm hearing all the commentary and seeing all the feedback, and I really hope that when I go on the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne keeps hitting me up. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I got receipts, y'all. I promise you. Charlamagne texts me all the time, but he's very busy, and I understand that. But when that Breakfast Club interview does happen, I'm going to specifically ask him to ask me about the Byron Allen suit, and to let you guys know, or I'm going to let the world know something I'm letting you all know right now on this channel, that when I'm reading all of this and everything that's happening, in my mind, I'm always thinking, damn, like, wow, if we should really build our own. Like, what can we do to build our own? How do we get away from this? How do we get away from spending years in court asking a conservative Supreme Court to give us justice as if that's the only place that justice is served? You can serve your own justice. You can create your own opportunities. You can build your own wealth, but you got to get the skill set necessary to do that. So our power play for this generation, the homework, y'all, as we walk away from this, is commit your children to the idea of learning how to find resources and to acquire resources. Acquiring resources, that means ownership of stocks and bonds, ownership of real estate, and the creation of businesses. They should know everything in the world about how to start a business, how to file the paperwork, how to go delegate and hire employees, and how to build proper teams, how to manage relationships, how to develop systems so that they can learn how to play the game at the highest levels. And that will create a world where, 40, 50 years from now, this sort of scenario won't even play out, because we're going to have so many wires and so many connections of our own that we won't necessarily need to go ask Comcast to let us in on what they're doing. We'll have something of our own. How the Jews Invented Hollywood. That's the book that everybody should read. It's a great book, and it gives you lots of insights into the thinking of oppressed Jews from Eastern Europe, who got together and pooled their money and said, let's create an industry where we own everything up in this piece. The Hollywood is the Jewish version of what you had with the Negro Leagues. Hollywood ain't nothing but a bigger, more Jewish example of what y'all had with the Negro Leagues, where you have an institution and something that people love, and it's all yours, and you build it, and you own not just the core assets, but you own every tangential asset, meaning all the businesses that are linked, all the suppliers are coming from your community, the customer base, the capital base, all that is in your own space, and you control all of that. The difference is that, unlike the Negro Leagues, they never gave it up. Y'all gave it up because y'all thought that man's ice was colder, and all you wanted was a job. And it's not your fault, because you were lied to, but I'm here to tell you the truth today, and I'm not going to back away from that, because I believe that that's the solution that we've been looking for, because we tried all the other solutions and we know that they have not worked. Are we clear? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you follow this logic? Is this making sense to you? Give me a yes. Say something in the chat. Let me know. All right, good. Now I got to go to a meeting. I'm going to bounce out. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button right now. Please hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. TheBlackFinancialChannel.com. That's where we do daily financial news and commentary from a Black perspective. Also, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. If you want to get text messages when we go live, you can text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. We have a Black Business School for children. If you're interested in teaching and getting your children enrolled, you can go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. It's a great program, and there's a 30-day 100% money back guarantee if you're not happy for any reason. So this is a great program, not just for children, but also for beginners. So don't let wealth intimidate you. We can teach you how to play with the big boys, because we are the big boys. We're the biggest boys on the block, and we know more than the big boys know, because I taught the big boys for 25 years. Now I'm teaching you. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for putting up with my craziness, and I'm sorry if I was talking too fast. Y'all know how I get. But I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. You have a great day. Be good. Peace.